Thank you for downloading the Flixters podcast. On this week's episode,
for everyone who was kind of complaining about WandaVision and it's like, oh gosh, I'm not really into this whole thing, right? And people were wondering, the MCU that people know and love, how are they going to fit that into a TV show? Well, listen, watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, even the first episode. If you want explosions, if you want fights, if you want like action set pieces, this episode has got it. But at the same time, Deval, it's got...
Whereas I think you should own your tone. I'm gonna write that down somewhere. Own your tone, or stay in your lane and own that lane. If DC is darker, you will have a dark audience and they will respect your movie. As long as your movie is good, people will come. Be yourself and be proud.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of The Flixters. We're back. The team is back. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Justice League are back in the house, folks. And listen, we've got a cracking show. There's so many things that we want to speak about on this week's episode. I don't think we're going to have time for a hidden gem, but if we do, we have got a great one for you. If we're not able to bring it on this week's show, we'll definitely bring it to you on another one. But so much news, so much kind of chatter on the interwebs about Justice League, about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We're going to go into all of that sort of stuff. But before we do any of all that sort of stuff, Deval, how are you and what's been going on?
Yeah, good. Can't complain. It's March. Times are going to go forward any day soon. So we'll have more sunshine and more daylight. So always a positive thing for that. I love that when it happens. So yeah, all good.
All right,
Watched
brilliant.
a lot of movies, TV shows. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot that's going to be coming up as well. So do you know what? It's a really, really good time right now to be a Flixter. So make sure you're following us.
Make sure you are. And the people who are following us, they get a shout out on the show each week. So Devaldo, take it away.
Yeah, so this week's shout outs, we've got quite a few, so I'm going to have to just whizzle through these. Zack, our very own Zack, go to his Instagram page. He does some really, really good posts. Zack commented about, there's a show coming out actually on Amazon Prime coming out real soon. And this show, it kind of looks like Us. And it's called Them. Have you seen it? Have you seen the trailer?
No, not at all.
They called Them? Am I going crazy? But yeah, this show that's coming out on Amazon, it looks like Us, which was by Jordan Peele, and it's got the same girl actually from Us in it.
Okay.
And it just looks like a horror, twisted, psychological thriller, and it just looks crazy. He posted about that, and you know what? I cannot wait to see that. Next post that goes out to G__X.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was just responding to our post that we always put out about different movies and stuff, and she just said, "Yep, she can't wait to see this one." Also, Reggie_Black also commented about our post about our next podcast coming out. Cami Andrea, she's got some really, really good makeup actually. She's like a makeup artist, makeup tutorials and stuff like that. So Cami Andrea _ go and check out her page. Put out a really good post on St. Patrick's Day about making yourself look all green and glamorous.
Nice.
Our next post goes out to Dr. Chuk, and he actually responded to our post on Zack Snyder's Justice League, which we're going to talk about
loads
a bit later.
Of people did.
And he was just saying how it wasn't so bad, but anything is going to be better than the previous one. But yeah, he was just saying that it wasn't so bad. It was good. Some things didn't make sense, but overall he kind of enjoyed it. But he still thinks it's maybe a bit overhyped. Like your opinion. Next shout out goes out to Stead Brett. He loved the Justice League Zack Snyder version. Bath79 loved it as well. O'Shea PD, go to his page. You know what, O'Shea PD, he loves his movies. He loves his eclectic stuff. Check out his pictures. He's got some really good images on there.
Great photos.
An image of winter. Yeah, really good photos. He's got an image of winter that looks so beautiful. Check that out. Also, go check out King.Solani. I know she loves her DC. Go check out her page as well. Every Day with Erica Joy. Go check out her page. And Anna Del Sun. So that's Anna of the Sun. Go check out her page as well. She's got some really good products, really natural products to do with skincare and stuff like that. She was checking out our page and she loves our posts. And last shout out goes out to Ciel Noir 3. Go check out her page. A lot of keeping fit and lots of activities, chatter. But yeah, she loves movies as well. So there are this week's shout outs.
Brilliant. Keep them coming, folks. So remember, get in touch with us, obviously on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. And there'll be a shout out for you somewhere on the podcast. All right, okay. Let's check out movie news. And there's quite a few things that we need to get through on this one. But first of all, let's speak about Oscar nominations. Now, we know that there's been calls for diversity in award season. And just recently in the Golden Globes and stuff like that, there was, a lot of stuff going on there. But it's looking like as if this year's Oscar is going to be a bit more diverse, isn't it?
Very diverse, yeah. And there's a lot of nominations that are, I guess, predicted and some that weren't. But I'll sort of go through a few of them.
Sure.
So the first one I'll mention is Judas and the Black Messiah. That one gets nominated for best picture. Actually, Judas and the Black Messiah gets nominated for best picture, and another Best Picture nomination that I think you will enjoy is Sound of Metal. You saw that film, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw it, and it
Riz
stars Riz Ahmed, and I know he got nominated.
Yes, he also got nominated as well. So that's a film that if you haven't seen, that is a hidden gem. Hidden gems, when they get nominated for Oscars, there's something serious about that film.
Yeah.
Really good film about a musician that loses his ability to hear. You can imagine that's a really just a crazy thing to happen to a musician. Trial of the Chicago Seven's been nominated for Best Picture, as well as Nomadland, who directed by Chloe Zhao, who also directed Eternals, Marvel Eternals. So that's coming out later on in the year. Best Actor with her nominations, Anthony Hopkins as well. Again, Chadwick Boseman, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Best Actress. Here's a good one. We mentioned this film a while ago. Yeah, Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman.
Yep.
Not many people even knew about that film. That film is a really deep film, especially now in the age that we live in, about equality, diversity, women's rights, and there's been some cases in the UK as well as in other countries around the world. In Russia, where women are being basically brutalized and attacked and so on and killed. And this movie does talk about women's rights and how men prey upon women who they feel are there to be preyed upon, basically. And this film really talks about it in such a vivid way. But interesting. What do you think?
Man, listen, I think definitely Judas and the Black Messiah. Wow, man, that is definitely deserves Oscar nominations. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Devout. We watched that on the show. We watched it and we reviewed it on the show and everything like that. And it's this kind of Chadwick Boseman's last. You know what? Right? Could they give it to him? Now I know this might sound a bit bad, and and it kind of calls back to Heath Ledger. He passed away after he made Batman, and then they gave it to him. They gave the Best Supporting Actor role award to him. Could something similar happen to Chadwick Boseman because of what's happened?
I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. I mean, many people will say he deserved it. Some people might think that if he does get it, it's because obviously he's passed away. But of the performances that I've seen, I've only actually seen that film out of all. I've not seen Sound of Metal yet, even though it's on my list to see, and I will see that soon. Minari, Stephen Young from Walking Dead, he's been nominated for that. So there's a few. He's got a competition out there, but I would also think if the others didn't win it, having seen his performance, they wouldn't feel too bad about it. So
exactly.
I think he does deserve it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's a great performance, and that is just kind of a memorable performance as well. So if he gets it, wow, man, take it away. All right, okay. And obviously, we'll be speaking about Oscars, and we'll let you know, and we'll do kind of like a short little recap on that sort of stuff. But on to other exciting news. Now, the Duffer Brothers. So Deval, you know who they are. I know who they are. Maybe our listeners might not know. They are the creators of a small little show called Stranger Things on Netflix, which actually isn't really small. It's actually this huge, big, it's this big show for Netflix actually, and it's quite a great. Whoever was in charge of acquiring that show or whatever, using the Duffer Brothers, I think that was like really, really great. But I think we're on how many seasons now is it of Stranger Things?
Season 4 we're waiting for, I think now.
Right, we're waiting for season 4 now. So they're kind of like probably busy, working on that. But they've got another project, on hand as well. Deval, tell us about this.
Yeah, this one's called it's a Stephen King project called The Talisman, and this is going to be for Netflix, just like you said. And it's a collaboration between Stephen King and the Duffer Brothers, who have done really, really well in bringing the of coming of age type show, and tying it in with horror and mystery and things like that. And The Talisman is going to be something similar. This is going to be a similar type of world where young people are dealing with something that can open up another portal into another realm of some sort. So
Wow.
that's all I'm going to say so far. It's quite tantalizing, but think of Stranger Things, but slightly different, and that's what The Talisman will bring to you for Netflix when it comes out at some
Sounds
point.
great.
I believe next year.
Yeah, can't wait for that one. Yeah, get onto it. All right, this next one is quite funny. Powerpuff. Now, who remembers the Powerpuff? I mean, I can vaguely remember it, but Deval, you're gonna have to fill in some gaps for me over there.
Oh, Powerpuff Girls. I love this cartoon, I ain't gonna lie. I love Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab. This used to come on Cartoon Network back in, well, quite a few years ago now. I actually used to watch it when I was in my 20s. I ain't gonna lie. I got no shame
Yeah,
admitting
no,
that. But
don't worry.
Powerpuff Girls is Buttercup, who's the dark hair Powerpuff Girl. Bubbles is the blonde one, and Blossom is the sort of redhead one. And yeah, it's a group of three girls who were created by Professor Utonium, and he made a concoction of sugar, spice, and all things nice. And he created the Powerpuff Girls, and they go around, saving the day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they've got they've got many enemies. There's one called Mojo Jojo who always repeats stuff and says stuff backwards. So he'll be like, Mojo Jojo, I am coming here to create havoc, and he'll be like, Havoc, I'm coming here to create. And he'll be like, to create havoc, I am coming here. He says the same thing, like backwards and forwards.
It
He's
sounds like
mad,
kind of
yeah.
almost like as if it's like Yoda or something.
Yeah, he's mad though. And you've got another enemy called him, who I actually think is
Oh, him.
really,
Yeah.
him is really, really, he's actually quite scary, even for a
Is it?
cartoon. Yeah, his voice like reverberates and echoes, and you don't really, just a bit of, he seems like the devil, like in a cartoon form.
Oh,
he's
wow.
really eerie. He's weird. He's weird. He's just called him. He's got no name. They just call him him. Even the Powerpuff Girls are scared of him. But yeah, so basically, I'm talking about cartoons. Sorry, yeah, the Powerpuff Girls is going to be made into a live action film, and it's going to be starring Chloe Benet or
Who's
Bennett.
that? No, remind us who's that again?
Chloe Benet was in Agents of Shield.
Okay.
So I believe, she's like Asian. She was who did she play? She played Earthquake or Quake. Sorry, Quake.
Mm.
Yeah, she played Quake. And yeah, she was in it from day one to end of Agents of Shield. And she's in the past. She's been a singer as well, and she's really good. She's really good.
Oh,
But
great.
yeah, she'll be good. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Well, it sounds. I mean, when you like when there's a villain called him, bloody hell, man, that sounds like
Yeah, I
that
know.
sounds deep.
I know.
All right, okay. So what's next up on the news? What we've got? All right, okay. Yeah, this one. I need to speak about this one. Now, I'm just trying to think back to Hugh Jackman. Remember Hugh Jackman, this huge X-Men movie star, and he's obviously bankable and and he's done loads of movies, not just kind of the X-Men movies. Well, he starred in this movie called Helsing, and it got panned by the critics, and it was on, no joke, but about a couple of weeks ago, it was on the TV over here, and I watched it, and you know what, Devout, the CGI, no joke, man, is so bad. In some places, the CGI of that movie, Van Helsing, is absolutely terrible, and I'm like, how the hell did this get made? Well, the thing is, right, it's now getting remade, rebooted or whatever, but from Amazon Film Studios. They are recruiting none other than the person or the people behind the John Wick franchise.
Oh my
And
gosh.
they are going to make this the kick-ass franchise that we all hoped it would be. So, yeah, so the screenwriter behind John Wick is a guy called Derek Kolstad. They roped in some of the fight choreographers from John Wick as well. And check this out. Kolstad is a writer on The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, there you go.
You know, this meshing, this amalgamation of writers and like stories and all this sort of stuff, man. This is going to be great. Helsing, I think, is good. So expect like obviously John Wick style fighting and, you know, but against vampires. Just like, you know, battling vampires, like Blade-esque. Could it be Blade-esque? But then, I know, yeah. So that's going to be really good. The other news that I wanted to mention was Edgar Wright, British film director, who's obviously connected to
Ant-Man. Do you remember? From like obviously when it was first created, even before it came out, he was originally going to do it like 10 years before. Crazy.
He had plans. He's a big Marvel. Well, he's a big comic book fan, and he's had like loads of plans and to make kind of like, you know, comic book movies and stuff. So he was working on Ant-Man for a really long time, and then they used some of his ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
But check this out. There's a old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from 1987, I think it is, which is called Running Man, and Edgar Wright is going to be adapting that into a new movie. So that whole storyline is crazy. It's like what is it? It's like a Hunger Games or like Battle Royale, but set in like a futuristic world where like you're basically running. You're just basically running and killing to survive. And like Arnold Schwarzenegger was in the movie. I'll tell you one thing, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger, he gets a lot of slack for his wooden acting, but he's been in some great sci-fi movies, man. He's been in some great sci-fi movies. Like even the premise of The Running Man, okay, it might not have been this box office huge hit, but it's a great premise. Total Recall, brilliant movie. Predator, great movie, man. Obviously Terminators, like, you know, great movies. But yeah, man, so this guy is going to be doing it. The Running Man.
Yaphet Kotto was in Running Man as well. He sadly passed away recently.
Sadly passed away, Devaldo. And have a guess who wrote The Running Man?
James Cameron.
Stephen effing King.
Is it?
It's a Stephen King adaptation, mate. So
is it?
This guy, man, is like, see, when you have great source material and you have a great director like Edgar Wright, who's obviously made like big movies, something great's going to come out of it. So yeah, we'll keep you posted on that one. The other thing is, so fans of Venom, Let There Be Carnage. So let there be a bit of sadness because the movie now has been delayed and it's now coming in September. And check this out. Have a guess the reason why. They realized that Fast and Furious was going to be coming out at round about the same time. So
compete.
You can't compete with Fast and Furious. So Kay, if you're listening, there's nothing that is going to be competing with the Fast and Furious. So what they decided, Sony, they just thought, you know what? Let's just kind of push it. Let's just kind of like, you know, push it away. And September is kind of like an easy month because how are you going to compete with F9?
Yeah, The Rock.
Exactly, The Rock. Nah. Exactly. All right. Okay, Deval.
Good decision.
Good decision, actually. And Deval, what's this about Elliot Page? Remind everyone who's Elliot Page again.
Yeah, Elliot Page is, well, I mean, it was formerly Ellen Page. You know, the actress Ellen Page who was in Juno and, you know, in X-Men X-Men Last Stand, and has been in what's the one on Netflix? The Umbrella Academy and lots of other films. Hard Candy, really good film.
Yeah,
But
great
we heard
movie.
some news a while ago that uh, she obviously came out as saying that she's a transgender male. So it's no more Ellen Page, but Elliot Page, and
Mm.
has recently revealed an image of his true self as Elliot Page, and yeah, so that's it. Just it's a bit of a reminder of the actor's identity, and I guess that's going to now I guess filter forward into any sort of roles that he's attached to. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what sort of roles that he is cast in, and yeah, just to see how the sort of the media world and Hollywood, how they either embrace or they either reject Elliot Page's identity.
Yeah,
Interesting
yeah.
times.
Interesting times, interesting times. Okay, on to Boxset Watchlist, folks. And yeah, Deval's going to tell us about this show. I've heard about it. I don't know anything about it, Deval, so please let me know about this. But yeah, this is called The Terror, and this is it a collaboration between AMC and the BBC?
Yeah, so it's actually internationally AMC are the ones that have released it and so on. But in the UK, it's shown on the BBC. But yeah, Terror is like a supernatural sort of thriller horror and anthology series. There's two series out so far. First series is about sort of an English uh, crew on aboard a boat. The boat is called the Terror, and they're going to. This is based in like, what year is it based actually? It's based in 1847,
Okay.
and they go on a naval expedition to map or charter the Antarctic and try and find new routes and stuff like that. Big mistake. They should have stayed home. And they go out, and it's a big write off. It's just a big mess. Yeah, it's a big mess, and shit happens on the boat.
Uh,
Like there's the supernatural forces as well as there's a
wow.
big like creature out there that looks like a polar bear, but it's not a polar bear. It's worse. It's worse than a polar bear.
And you know what? It's funny because it stars Steppenwolf. Like, you know
Yes,
what? I was just having a look at this. Who's
there's
like one of the
always a
biggest.
link.
There's
Yep,
always a link,
yep,
man. Yeah, exactly.
yep.
So Kieran
Steppenwolf.
Hines
Yeah.
is in this one. Yeah. So sounds interesting. Great.
Interesting show. So yeah, give that one a watch if you can. 10 episodes is interesting, and it will keep you gripped. So
Yeah.
yeah, give that one a watch.
You know, another show that I think people should watch if obviously they've got an Apple TV subscription is this new show that's called Calls. It was just released on Friday.
Yes.
And you know what, right? Seriously, this is crazy. The episode, right? It's only 9 episodes. They're only about 12 minutes long. Each episode is only 12 minutes long. But the cast list for this show, right, is like Rosario Dawson, Pedro Pascal, Lily Collins. You've got Karen Gillan. You've got a whole host of
Mm.
like huge stars in this,
One
and
of the Jonas brothers are in there too.
one of the Jonas brothers in this as
Mm.
well. And look, this is what the premise is. So basically, each episode is about 12 minutes long, and there's no acting. All it is just a recording. It's just a conversation, and so what you're hearing then is then shown on the TV screen. So like the dialogue is basically shown on the screen, and each episode is linked to a catastrophic worldwide event which involves
Say
time
what?
travel, time loop,
Oof,
the grandfather paradox, Duval,
oof.
right?
You're talking my
All is
language now, yeah.
exactly. So this show is huge. It's basically a collaboration between like a French production house and Apple
Canal
TV.
Bleu.
Canal Bleu,
I know. Anytime you see Canal
Monsieur
Bleu,
Lepin.
you know you're in the right place.
You
Trust me.
know it. I think Canal Plus is kind of like probably say like the French equivalent of HBO, like or something
Yeah,
like
they
that.
have
It's kind of one of
good
those
stuff.
good
Good
stuff
stuff
comes
from
out.
back in the day. Trust me.
Exactly, I know. So, yeah, man, this looks good. I saw the trailer. So, listen, it's time to use that Apple TV subscription, folks. Get
Trust
it,
me.
and you can watch this within 2 hours
Yeah.
because their episodes are only like flipping 12 minutes long.
Yeah, I started one today actually. Funny you mentioned that. I started one today
Yeah.
and I was hooked because it's different to seeing to visuals. Visuals are visuals give you everything. When you're listening to this and you
Yeah.
imagine the emotion is high because when one of your senses is taken away, the others perk up. So you're listening to the emotion in their voice and you're on the ride with them. Honestly,
That is it.
this is almost I guess you could say it's like an audio. What do you call it again? Audio book or something. You could say it's
Yeah, like
like
an
a
audiobook. Yeah. Like a
like that, but
podcast.
because it's not actually it's put on TV, so it's
Yeah.
different. It's going to get a different audience. But you know what? I'm not going to talk anymore. It's good. Go watch it. Don't waste your time.
Yes.
Go and watch
Yes.
it. Go watch it. Don't
Exactly.
waste your
Just
time
just
not watching
watch it.
it. Yeah.
And okay, so and the next thing that we just kind of have to quickly mention, obviously,
Ooh.
if you didn't know, amidst all the Justice League and Snyder news and everything, there was a Marvel show that dropped on Friday, the 19th of March, and this is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And oh man, all I'm
Winter's
gonna just say
coming.
is, oh man, seriously, I'm telling you what, right? You know, for everyone who was kind of crying and complaining about WandaVision and it's like, oh gosh, I'm not really into this whole thing, right? And people were wondering, well, how are they going to fit in kind of like the MCU into the MCU that people know and love? How are they going to fit that into a TV show? Well, listen, watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, even the first episode. If you want explosions, if you want fights, if you want like action set pieces, this episode has got it. But at the same time, Deval, it's got character development, it's got heart, it's got depth, it's got grief, it's got loss. They even managed to bring in, they even talk about like race, they even talk about like, one of the questions that I love about this is, Deval, how the hell do superheroes get paid? How do superheroes survive financially? Just answer me that one question.
I've been asking that question for a long time, and it's so the way they did it as well. The way the scene happens is so
Yeah.
funny because we've all been asking that question, and it's so funny. So many little things in these TV shows are dealt with in a way where you're like, "Shit, I wanted to know that."
Yeah.
Crazy, like the way that they live, how do they get paid, and their family. Like they got family. When you see them in
But
Avengers and
yes.
stuff, you see them coming to like basically coming to work. But when they
Yeah.
go away, they're with their family in between. But we never see that. You know, and even Winter Soldier. You know
Absolutely.
what? I feel for this guy. You know, that's why I really like Winter Soldier. I mean,
Yeah.
Cap is one of my favorites, but I like Winter Soldier's story because
Yeah.
Cap was on ice for 80 years. Winter Soldier wasn't.
No.
In those 80 years, all the things he was doing, yeah,
He was racking
is a
up
lot.
kills, man.
Trust me. Like some Call of Duty, like non-stop, non-stop Call of Duty game, but with real life people. This guy has got PTSD to the max.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
to the max. And also think he's been alive and all his family and friends have all died. He's
Yeah. Yeah.
106 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what? This
Not
show's
even
deep.
getting laid.
Exactly. He ain't banged in over 100 years. Imagine all
And he's
that.
got a metal arm. And he's got a metal
Mate.
arm. Like, you know,
I hope he isn't
seriously.
doing anything to himself, you know. But I hope he's using his I hope he's using his human arm. If he's using that vibranium arm, he's gonna
Forget about it.
circumcise
Game
himself.
over.
He's
The
gonna
White Wolf. The White Wolf end. Game over, man. But listen. So listen. Look.
But
You know,
yeah, good
we're
show.
introduced to yeah, man. Great show. We're introduced obviously to Falcon, to Sam, and his life story and the stuff that's going on with him. Like money problems. He's got family issues and. There's all that stuff going on, but we also introduced the new characters, obviously, LAF, which is this kind of organization, which is, I don't know, kind of like a terrorist group as well. So he has to deal with them
Yeah.
within the first like 5-10
What they
minutes.
called again? The hand.
The
Called,
flag,
the flag smashers.
the flag smashers.
Flag
Again,
smashers. Yeah.
and that's a character from the comics, but they've kind of changed it up a bit by making it almost like a V for Vendetta type of like using that mask thing and everything like that.
Yeah.
Listen, there's so many things in there that I mean, you just
Every
got to
week
go
we're
watch
going to
it.
dip into it every week. I think we'll talk about it every week and
That's
save
it.
save a big show towards the end of the series to talk about it even more. But yeah, make sure you guys are watching Falcon and Winter Soldier. Good.
Do it. The only thing that I was surprised about, I thought they would have dropped 2 episodes, but no, they just stuck with the one
Oh no.
episode.
Yeah, I guess because there's 6 episodes, and then we've got Loki in May. Even before that, we're gonna
What
have
if?
Black Widow.
Sorry,
Uh,
yes. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. So, but yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, and the episodes are slightly longer, so maybe they
they are.
felt that just dropping one was enough. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it
it is what it is. Go check it out, folks. That's The Falcon and the Winter
is.
Soldier. Now, new on streaming, awesome new trailers, actually. Deval, what is Shadow and Bones?
Shadow and Bone. So yeah, Shadow and Bones is like a bit. You know what? It's a bit Harry Potterish. I'll be honest.
Okay.
It doesn't look like my cup of tea,
Mm-hmm.
but I know this show is for everyone. So I'm not going to just talk about what I like because a lot of people will like this too. And Shadow and Bone stars Ben Barnes, Jesse May Lee, Archie Renault, they
Mm,
probably Archie Renault or Renault, Freddie Carter, among others. And yeah, so it's basically like dark forces conspire against an orphan map maker when she unleashes an extraordinary power that could change the fate of a war-torn world. So mystic, magic, and all kinds of shit in between. So a lot of people are going to like this. This is going to be dropping on Netflix. I believe quite soon actually. Well, soonish is in like April. So yeah,
yeah.
interesting one, Shadow and Bone. So you give it a go if you like that.
Give it a go. And if you don't like that and you want something else, Deval, what can people check out? Another show coming out, well, another documentary coming out on Netflix.
That's out so far. So yeah, Sega Nintendo, Jagerson assists. When I was dead broke, I could have pictured this.
This
Phone
is
bill
great.
about $2 grand flat. Yeah, this is
Keep
Biggie.
going. Keep going.
No, I can't.
Keep going,
No, I'm
man.
gonna
Your
stop
bars,
there.
man, they're brilliant.
I can't wrap Christmas presents. So yeah, this is Biggie's documentary. It celebrates his life as well as talk about the incidents around his death in 1997, which is like what 21 years ago now. Is it 21?
Crazy.
No, it's
Crazy.
more than that. It's 24 years ago or something like that. Yeah, it's a long time ago now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, his rhymes and his beats are still
Still,
with
man,
us
live
now.
on.
You know exactly. You play Nasty Girl featuring Jagged Edge in the club now. Everyone's jumping, even
Just,
people that are like 16 years old who weren't even born.
I
They
know.
all know.
It's so true.
Not that I go to clubs with people 16 years old, just so
You
you know.
do. We know
But
that you do.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know
uh,
what you mean.
and another one. This is on Amazon. I actually saw this film a few days ago. Escape from Pretoria. South
Yeah,
African film.
you mentioned Harry Potter, but yeah, go on.
Yeah. I've never seen Harry Potter, but I've seen what's his name? Daniel Radcliffe's
Radcliffe.
films. I've seen some of his films like Horned. I've seen another film he was in where it was in, like white supremacy and stuff like that.
That was
Really
it.
good
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one here is true life story actually about a man who, real life sort of political activist who's in South Africa. And his girlfriend is actually a black lady, and he believes in the rights of black people in South Africa. And apartheid is happening, all of that, and he's fighting with the oppressed.
Mm.
Obviously, that's not a good look for a white person in South Africa. So, so he's doing stuff that would be deemed as terroristic. He's not killing anyone, but he's like, spreading information that the white powers don't want people to know about. So he's basically labeled a terrorist, captured and put in prison. And this film is about his escape. So he's him and another person that he fights with, and they try to escape from prison. So yeah, it's interesting to see what happens in this. Interesting film, actually, quite good. So this is on
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, so you can catch this now.
Here's something that I want to kind of let you all aware of. There's a show.
Mm.
And listen, look, it kind of goes back to the whole kind of, DC Marvel and the whole comic book thing. Listen, everyone wants a piece of pie of it because it's in those movies, they generate billions and billions and billions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
So Netflix, they're pumping in money and making superhero movies. And I know that there's a show or a film that you mentioned last week, and you said that it's about two superheroes and two female superheroes. Do you remember that? You mentioned that last
Oh
week?
yeah, that was the one with Octavia Spencer and
That's
Melissa
it.
McCarthy.
All right.
I can't remember what it's called now, but yeah, they've got powers.
They got powers, right? Okay, so now if you go online, there's a teaser trailer for a show called Jupiter's
Mm,
Legacy. And
mm.
oh my God, I mean, listen, it's only like about 45 seconds long, and you don't see anything. All you just hear someone, like, obviously, talking. And this show is from Mark Miller. Now, Mark Miller is the person behind Kick-Ass, Wanted, Kingsman. He wrote Marvel's Civil War comic series. Right.
Mm. Say
He
no more.
wrote
Say
he
no
wrote
more.
Civil War. They
Mm-mm.
turned Civil War into one of the greatest like
Yeah.
comic book movies like made, right? So Mark Miller is behind this show called Jupiter's Legacy, which is coming out on Netflix in July, and
You
it's
know
about
what?
superheroes.
Saying that, obviously, his Civil War is it's a deep concept comic book. Even the movie, it was obviously superheroes and stuff. But think about the divide that was caused in that movie. Same as in the
Yes.
comics, you had members of the same team that had different beliefs. About the Superhuman Registration Act, or in the comics, obviously in the movies, it was called the Sokovia Accords. Members of the same family had different points of view. Because of that, it split the superhero community. It
Yep.
split the nation. They fought against each other. Lives were lost. And if that is what they're carrying over into Jupiter's Legacy, you can
Oh
imagine it's going to
man.
be very political. It's going to be quite interesting.
Very, very political, and it's been described as Miller. It's been described by Miller as a sprawling superhero epic with an almost limitless ambition.
Mm,
And this, you're talking about a show, or how many characters? He said there's like 50 odd characters
mm,
in this,
mm,
like, and
mm, mm,
they've got all got superpowers.
mm,
So he's kind of likened it to part Avengers, part
mm.
Godfather Part 2,
Oh
and
my
part
God.
2001.
Ugh. Space
Just, I mean, what a
Odyssey. Mm.
combination. Yeah, exactly. So listen, go check it out. Like I said before, it's just a teaser. It's going to be coming in July, but it means that, yeah, Netflix, man, they're pumping money into
Yeah.
this genre. All right, Devaldo, Anniversary Corner.
Great.
Let's do
Anniversary
this.
Corner. So yes, Anniversary Corner. This is the part of the show where we talk about. Now we're going to highlight one movie from an era between 10 years ago up to 30 years ago, and this movie usually links in to the main movie that we're going to talk about, which is Zack Snyder. Is it Zack Snyder or Zack Schneider? I want to say
What?
Schneider.
Yeah, you've always said Schneider, and I've always thought, oh,
Yeah,
that's how it said Schneider. Yeah,
I don't know. We can ask him when he comes on the show next
of
week.
course.
But yeah, so this week's anniversary corner film is from 2006, 15 years ago. And yes, this is Superman Returns. So
Yeah.
yeah, this one is the one that stars Brandon Roof or Brandon
Yep.
Ralph
Yeah.
and
I'm going with
Kevin
Ruth.
Spacey. Going with Roof. Roof, of course you would, innit? Stranger.
Ruth.
Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. And who was the lady? The Kate
Bo
Bosworth.
Bosworth, that's it.
Bosworth.
I'll
She
be
was
honest with you, I wasn't too keen on her.
nah, me too. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Even James Marsden, who's Cyclops, he turned up in this as
As
some
Jimmy.
dude,
No. No, what
Richard
was he?
White, whoever that is. But he was just like,
Yeah.
I just thought him as some dude. He got on my nerves in this,
Oh, Perry
and he
White's
gets on
son,
my
I think.
nerves. Yeah, it's just that's the one. Yeah, yeah. There you go. And this is directed by Bryan Singer, who obviously that explains why Cyclops showed up in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cyclops, get out of it.
Yeah,
But
what's he
yeah, so this
doing
film
there?
here, you know what? The whole movie itself didn't do so well.
Mm,
Came out in 2006. The actual Superman was lifted from the comics. He looks like Superman. He's like 6 foot
yeah.
4. He's sort of tall, dark, and handsome kind of thing. Funny enough that he later on shows up in Legends of Tomorrow, which is DC
Yeah.
TV show, and in that he also becomes Superman, which is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie, if you're going to see any part of this movie, see the part up until he saves the plane. There's a bit where he saves the plane in the movie, and that bit there is wicked,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
wicked. And then there's a bit where he gets shot in the eyeball, which is just,
Yes, that's really
someone,
good.
the special effects department, flexing their muscles. But outside of that, I didn't really fancy this movie. But
I
let us know
know.
what you think. What did you think about this movie?
Yeah, I mean, same thing, man. There was the hype behind it. I remember I was speaking to a friend of ours who's into obviously comic book movies, and he's a Spurs supporter, so that's all I'm going to say. And
Yeah.
and we both had the same thing when we saw the trailer. We were like, "Oh man, we cannot wait!" Because remember, 2006, right? It had been such a long time since the Christopher Reeve movies, like those classic Superman 1, 2, and 3, and whatever. And then to see them, coming back with a new Superman movie, we thought this is going to be great. But then, yeah, man, it was just this kind of like a few individual bits which were great. And yeah, it kind of just didn't work for me. That's all I'm going to say. And then from 2006 to when did Man of Steel come out, Deval?
2013.
Wow, that's a long time, man.
I really
That's a
prefer
long
that
time.
one though. A lot of people are in between about that, but I think more
Yeah.
people that have seen more DC movies come out have been like, okay, yeah, Man of Steel was all right.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Well, listen, look, I mean, you mentioning that movie, Devaldo, leads us nicely into, the character of Superman leads us nicely into Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, remember, folks, if you don't know, here's a quick primer. Well, first of all, we had Man of Steel, and then we had Batman versus Superman, and then we had Justice League, which came out in 2017, and, Justice League was going to be an introduction to, obviously, the Justice League, and then there was going to be kind of like other movies. And then whilst Zack Snyder was making the movie, something terrible happened. He had a family tragedy and he had to, abandon ship basically. And then they brought on board Joss Whedon, who you might remember is the director of Marvel, Avengers.
Avengers
1 and
Assemble.
2. And when that news came out, everyone was probably thinking, oh well, actually, you know what, this is in great hands. If you are bringing in the director of Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron, you've got someone who can deliver hits, who can deliver a big movie. And when the movie came out in 2017, boy, was it so badly panned. Like, people calling it bloated, stuffed, incoherent. There was loads of kind of, stuff going on. Some things didn't make sense. And soon after that movie came out, Deval, people started realizing, no, there's got to be more to this movie. There's got to be more to the movie.
Yeah.
And then Zack Snyder himself started teasing back in 2018. I remember this. We spoke about it on this show, Deval, in 2018, that, here's a concept that we had for my version of the movie, and here's this for my version. And then slowly, it started gaining traction. People started becoming a bit more vociferous, and people started saying, please release the Snyder cut. And lo and behold, here we are, 4 years later, we have the Snyder cut, Devaldo, sitting in at 3 hours and 52 minutes. Now, for a lot of people, they would just turn off. And we spoke about this on the show.
Actually, if you count the credits, it's 4:02. Which all of us, we're going to sit there until the cleaners come. You know how we stay.
Exactly, absolutely. So you're talking about a 4-hour, beast, right? And and it's seen the light of day. And who would have thought that this was going to happen? And so Zack Snyder, obviously, he's happy. The fans are happy. I don't know if Warner Brothers. Do you reckon Warner Brothers are happy about this?
Yeah, they're happy still. They're happy.
HBO are going to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. It gives HBO more content. People are more invested in DC now. After watching that, there's an invigoration of faith. The last thing we saw, remember, was Wonder Woman 84. And we don't want to remember that.
Exactly. That's so true. That's so true. Exactly. And yeah, absolutely. You just said it. And one of the things for me is like, oh my gosh, like it just shows you, if you give a director, obviously the time, well, in this case, he's had a lot of time, but like if you give him the vision, if you give him the space for he or she to, have their vision, you know what? People can then enjoy that vision. I think his hands were tied, Deval. right? Would you say that back in
Very much tied.
2017 his hands were tied?
Obviously, the family tragedy, that was a major aspect of obviously him leaving the projects. But even so, the DC sort of, I don't know, studio or the DC bigwigs, they were always like you said it before previously. They're always trying to play catch up
Mm,
with Marvel, and they try to change the tone of the DC movies. Look at the Suicide Squad reshoots and stuff like
yeah.
that. They're trying to make it a bit more comedic to keep up with Marvel's lighter tone. Whereas I think you should own your tone. I'm gonna write that
Yes.
down somewhere. Own your tone or
Yes.
stay in your lane and own that lane. You know, if DC is darker, you will have a dark audience and they will respect
Yes.
your movie. As long as your movie is good, people will come. Be yourself and be proud, you know? Because I think I mean, obviously, the DC is quite dark anyway. Gotham is always darker and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even Man of Steel was slightly darker compared to
It
the
was.
other Superman film that have been around. And you know, Zack Snyder's vision was a darker image of the movie. It was meant to be three movies.
Yeah.
Meant to be three movies that were supposed to be released. This obviously the original movie wouldn't have been 4 hours. It would have been long, but it wouldn't have been 4 hours. Would have been
Yeah.
longer than 2 hours, maybe 2 hours 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
But there's meant to be a trilogy, you know. I know you want to talk about the trilogy and aspect as well, but it's like you know, there was meant to be this movie that we saw. There was meant to be like a second movie where Dark Side wins, almost like an
Yep.
Infinity War type
Yes.
situation, and then
And
there was meant to
then
be oh,
Exactly, and then the whole Flash, and then Flash obviously. Well, you see in this Zack Snyder cut of the movie where he has a conversation with Batman, and the Flash, Barry Allen says, "Oh, like when I kind of run at close to the speed of light, something
mm,
happens to the time,
mm,
like
mm,
So you've kind of we've had this, and even in Batman versus Superman, remember that whole scene where he goes back and he says to
mm,
Batman, he goes, "It's Lois. Lois is the
mhm.
key."
Yeah,
Well, the vision for Zack Snyder going forward was that Lois was going to die. Lois
yeah,
Lane was going to
yeah,
die, and then this just pushes Superman
mm,
on the brink of madness. He gets controlled by Darkseid, like you said, he wins, and then he starts basically destroying. And then we get this whole kind of epic battle of, right, okay, now we've got to try and undo exactly what's happened. So this dark, post-apocalyptic future where Superman is being controlled by Darkseid. And if you go online, you can, read about all of that because Zack Snyder, he's pretty forthcoming about what he wanted. And
mm.
I think he's so open about it. Maybe he thinks that he's never going to get to tell
Yeah,
those
exactly.
stories.
Yeah, I think he's been told that. I think he's been
Like, you're
told that.
not going to
It's
get a
so
chance.
sad. It's so sad because I would have loved to see that happen. I mean, to
Yes.
see like I think that's a pocket. That's a preview of what Marvel does over a 10-year period. But he was actually able to plan those three movies, and it shows when good planning happens, good preparation and planning equals good delivery.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't able to deliver. But just think about in this film. Obviously, I don't want to, in case you haven't seen it, I know it's 4 hours, guys, but there's a part called the epilogue of this
Yeah.
movie,
Oh,
which for me is one of the most favorite. It's one of my favorite bits of the whole movie. And in that
brilliant.
epilogue, I mean, there isn't even any fighting or anything. It's all about the conversations that they have of situations that have happened before. And
Yes.
of the fighting and stuff you see a lot of dark side of the epilogue. It's almost that would have been a lot of the second movie, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, that would have
Yes.
been a lot of the
Absolutely.
second movie's events that they're now talking about people that have died and see dark side's omega beams. He kills. I'm not going to say who it is, but he kills someone, and then he uses his omega beams that are world famous.
Yeah.
Once he launches those omega beams, they don't stop
That's
until
it.
they kill you. And the Joker shows up in this and he's talking about a lot of things that have happened and Batman swearing at the Joker. You
That
see
was
Princess
wicked.
Mira. Princess Mira is like angry from Aquaman. You see Deadshot. Deadshot is there and he's working with Batman. It's like, what? That's how much of a shit show the world has gone into.
Exactly. Well, exactly. That's it. In what world? Imagine a world where the Batman has to work with the Joker.
Exactly.
Like, you know what?
Think
That is,
about
and
that.
it's deep. It
Think
is
about what has
deep.
happened. Think about what has happened for that to be the situation. That's where that famous saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend." And we already know that the Joker, well, they alluded to it, but in this epilogue, they make it known. Joker had already been responsible for Robin's death,
Robin's death. Yeah.
and it's just, oh
That
man,
line that he
it is
delivers,
just,
he goes, please, he goes, I want to know. He goes, why did you send a boy to do a man's job?
oh,
And then, you know, man, and you just
boy
know, because
wonder.
remember, the boy wonder. And then there's a bit in Batman versus Superman, or something in one of the movies where he sees. Remember, there's a clip of Robin's suit.
Yes,
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
and
yeah,
then you know that Joker obviously
yes,
killed, like, you know, Robin and stuff
yeah.
like that, and or he feels guilty about it. But
Mm,
listen, here's the things that I like about this new cut is Ray Fisher, Cyborg.
mm,
Oh my
mm.
gosh, man, he gets like justice,
Much
like,
more.
pardon the pun,
Yeah.
but yeah, he gets his justice. Like, you know, it's like the backstory between him and his dad, which was
Yeah.
brilliant. Like, you
Yeah.
know, at first,
Much more involved, much more fleshed out. We understand the
exactly.
pain and the journey.
The journey, exactly. So you
Mm.
have that all in there. You have kind of like, you know, Wonder Woman in this one. She is
Oof.
like the Wonder Woman from the movies that we know now.
She's my favorite. You see, when she fights, you know about it. She has some good fights with Steppenwolf,
The
in
end
this.
scene, she chopped. Well, actually, all right,
Extended.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah. Ah, one of that scene where you see Darkseid and Mama, what's her name? Mama Dearest or
or
something.
something
You know,
like that.
Darkseid's
Yeah,
got his two
two
got
hench.
two, like, hench people or whatever. Mama Dearest is the one that's going to be in the New Gods.
Yes,
I'm probably getting her name wrong, guys. Please correct me. It's either Mother Dearest or Mama something, and she's like the leader of his like yeah, like he's got these ladies that are like Dora Milaje but on
yeah,
steroids. And Mama
mm,
Dearest is the leader of those of that sort of that fighting force, and you got the other person who's like his advisor as well. And yeah, so they're going to be in the New Gods, which is going to be directed by Ava DuVernay.
yep,
I don't know when that's coming out, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Darkseid he is Thanos
huge.
level. He is, and he said he's gonna, in this movie. He talks about taking over Earth the old school way, which means a fight. You
Yeah,
know what? Ah, I
invasion or
wish.
whatever.
Oh
And
man,
then they
bring us
kind
a
of,
sequel.
exactly, and then now we know, like, obviously there's like more kind of to Steppenwolf. We kind of get more idea of why Steppenwolf is doing what he's doing. You know, something happened between him and Darkseid, and, like, you know, there was kind of like a bit of a betrayal. So he's kind of down on Earth trying to
Yeah.
find the mother boxes and whatnot. But yeah, man. So you got this whole backstory. There's a battle scene. Remember
Mm.
there's a battle scene
The-
with the Atlanteans, with
yeah.
the
All of mankind, the Atlanteans, Wonder Woman's people,
they're
even
all
Green
there, man.
Lanterns come down. You get Hercules and the old gods, and the
Hercules
new
is there.
gods, and
Did you
everyone's
see him,
involved.
man? Oh my gosh, that is just epic. This
Yeah,
is mad, and there's
a
just kind of
wicked
like,
battle,
yeah. So
wicked battle.
there's so many things, and for me, I'm like, wow. Imagine if he did have, if imagine if we did see this in 2017. Yeah,
Mm,
it'll, you know, the landscape will be different. But you know what? Yeah, I like this hell of a
yeah,
lot more
yeah,
than the 2017 version. And yeah, man, if you're a fan, it does. You know what? This is for the fans, because there's a shot
yeah.
at the end. There's a shot at the end, right, Deval, where all of them, they're all standing up.
Mm,
They've, and you know what? For me, that is kind of like what the fans want. You seeing the
yeah,
Justice League
yeah,
together.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, this movie already. I mean, the reviews are in. They're a lot better on
Yeah.
IMDb. It's 8.4 on IMDb.
Is it?
And that's probably a bit more than it's worth. I'm not gonna lie. It's good,
Yeah.
but that's rated higher than Civil War. Marvel Civil. It's rated quite high. I mean, the reviews probably will go down a bit, but the original Justice League is like 6.3 or something on IMDb, or 6.2. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
much better movie. And you know what? The 4 hours flies by. Have a little break in between. Go and stretch your legs. Go to the
Yeah.
toilet, the bathroom. You're in America. But yeah, I mean, this is. I definitely give this one a higher rating.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd probably give it an 8. I did enjoy it. It was yeah, I got a lot from this. I'm going to watch it again. Actually,
Are you?
I'm going to watch it again. Yeah, because I kind of watch it in bits. But I'm
You know
going to
what?
watch
I
it
just
again.
watched before we recorded the show. I watched the epilogue again, and you know what? It's great.
The
I watched
epilogue.
the epilogue
That is
again,
wicked.
man. It's
Epilogue is wicked,
brilliant. Like
honestly.
seriously. And so if you go online and the chatter, people are talking about the epilogue, and I love the fact that, like, you know, you hear Batman swear. I don't know why. Why is that so
Yeah,
exciting? The
yeah,
fact that we see
yeah.
Batman, we see that
And there's more
anger,
blood
his
in
rage.
this as well. There's more blood when Wonder Woman first shows up and saves his
Yes.
school kids and stuff like that. When she deals with those baddies, it's like there's blood on the wall, man.
Yes, man. I know. So it's
Crazy.
definitely a completely
Watch this film,
different
guys.
movie.
Stop what you're doing. Watch this film. On most subscription services, you know, you get a free trial period. Watch the film in that free trial period.
That's what I did. That's what I did.
Me too.
That's what I did. I've
too.
got like about 2 weeks left of it, so I'm
There
going to
you
be
go.
like watching more and like, you know what I'm actually going to do. This is no joke. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch Man of Steel.
Yeah, I watched it as well last week. I did. It's good if you watch that first and then watch this. It does fit in nicely.
You know what's strange thing about it? I bet you in about 10 years' time, people are going to look back now at these DC movies and they're going to have like a whole different view of them. Do you know that?
Yeah. Exactly. You're right.
Um,
But yeah, go watch this film, guys.
it.
Go watch it. Don't waste time.
Don't waste any time. Just watch it,
4 hours.
and
Can't waste time.
yeah, sign up to some Sky. I think it's on Now TV, isn't it?
Now TV and other stuff. HBO Max, obviously, you can get it on that. But yeah, go watch this film, guys. Go watch it.
That is it, man. That's all we got time for. We hope you enjoyed the show. And Devout, any codes?
Any codes? Yes. So yes, let us know what you think. Just all you got to do, easy one this week. Let us know what you think of the Justice League. Let us know who else you wanted to see in the Justice League movie that wasn't in the movie, and I'll send you that free movie code. Only applies in the UK, I'm afraid, but you can get a free movie code to rent a movie of your choice. And there you go. I think next week we may be able to talk about Godzilla. I'm not sure if we'll get to watch it in time. But either way,
it's out on Wednesday over here.
Is it? Okay, there you go. So I think maybe we'll get Godzilla next week, guys. So good one for next week.
Good one for next week. Okay, keep it locked.
Yep.
And that's it. I'm out.
Cool. Peace out. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.